Live from Hollywood, California, VJ Vernon Husky, the Big Vanilla Funnies, Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. I like that J right there. I might have to go in the studio and drop some bars. Y'all know I got big vanilla bars. VJ's Unsportsmanlike conduct, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in right now. Live on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio. And I'm on Vesson, YouTube, the whole nine, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I'm your host, VJ Vernon Husky, a.k.a. the Big Vanilla 8515, the Big Vanilla Funny, the Big Vanilla Shaq, the Blue Eye Barkley, the Creamy Kobe, Mr. Never Shut Up, VA's Top Talk Boy, and VA's Top Talker, and the Big Vanilla Color Card, because I got a deck of them joints, and sometimes you need to deal them out. Also, too, the Big Vanilla Handsome. I don't say that too much because people think I'm not that arrogant. Trust me, I'm not that arrogant. Only a little bit, but not a lot. Anyway, great show for you guys lined up today. No special guests. I was trying to get one of my NBA analysts to come on, talk a little NBA, and one of my Raiders analysts to come on today, but no answers on their end. So we'll get right into today's show. I want to start today's show with my opening rant about honesty. We always say in society that we like honesty. Just be honest with me. Just tell me the truth. Just be honest with me. Just tell me the truth. And 9 times out of 10, that's not true. We live with societal lies every day. We answer on the test in school that Columbus discovered America. Even though we know we've been shown time and time again that that's false and that that's not true. We've been told time and time again that a lot of people, ex-presidents, slave masters, were inventors of certain things when we know that's not true. We know a lot of times the slaves are the ones that invented something, and because they couldn't read or write, they didn't have access to the patent office back then in the day, the slave owner got the credit for it. We can go for inventions all day long. We always say we love loyalty in sports, but we really don't. Certain players, we want to be loyal. We want them to be loyal. Certain players, we say that, but then when they go make a move, we say, well, the franchise didn't do this, or the franchise didn't do that, or they didn't do right by him, or they didn't put a team around him, or they didn't help him out. We always say we want the truth, but we can't handle the truth. We live with societal lies every day. From the government, from the educational system, from the pharmaceutical medical field, from politics, from the military, from TV, film, music. We live with societal lies every single day, but we swear up and down we want everybody to be honest with us. That don't lead me to talk about opening the show this morning with James Harden. Now, James Harden has made it very known that he wants out of Houston. They can say, they can poo-poo, and they can try to do all the damage control they want, but we know James Harden wants out of Houston, and he wants out of Houston bad. He's even given a list of teams that he would go to or he would be willing to be traded to. And of course, it's contenders. As if he hasn't made his team a contender, as if he wasn't up 3-1 in the series before, or had a game 7 at home and they shot 2 of 28. 2 of 29, I believe, from 3, where they missed 23 or 24 straight 3-pointers in a row. As if he hasn't had an opportunity to be a contender. James Harden has had an opportunity to be a contender. But now he wants to be moved to a contender. He's listed the Bucks. He's listed and the Bucks, surprise, surprise, Giannis Antetokounmpo decides to stay, signs the 5-year, $228, and I know I probably just butchered his last name. I'll try it again in a minute. But I can say DJ Uiagalelei. Bam. I can knock that one out all day long. I watch professional people on TV mess it up all the time. The 2 games he started for and played for Clemson, I had a little head start. I covered his high school games his junior and his senior year and called his games out here in Bellflower, California for St. John Bosco Prep. Number 1 and number 2 teams respective each year in the nation by Max Prep Sports and USA Today top 25 power rankings for high school football. But, of course, Giannis decides to stay 5 years, $228 million. Now Harden's got the Bucks on his list. As if Giannis needs that, right? And listen, I like James Harden. I do. His game's a little weird. It is a lot of dribble, pull up 3, dribble, go by. But the guy has led the league in scoring twice. He can put the biscuit in the basket. Period. He could dunk the donut in the milk. Like, he does that. He can do that. And he got better on defense. I think Harden might be getting to the point in his career where he may be losing a little interest in basketball. We all know he's a very popular guy with the strip clubs. He had a jersey retired in the strip club. He loves just blowing and spending money. He's got a max deal. He can afford it. I'm not a man to try to count another brother's pockets. You can do what you want to do with your money. I'm not that guy. But he's added the Bucks. He's added the Sixers. He's added the Heat. I believe Portland now is a team that he would go play with. But at least he's being honest. And he's getting killed for it. He's being honest, but he's getting killed for it. We say we want honesty. We say we like honesty. And here we have a player saying, I don't want to be here. You traded Rush. You talked about traded me. I didn't show up to camp. You fired my coach. You brought a new coach in, a young guy that's never been a head coach before. We're kind of starting all over. You bring in John Wall, who I love too. I think John Wall is going to be excellent. If I was Houston, I'd move Harden and I'd give John Wall the keys to the Houston Rockets. I'd give John Wall the keys to the Houston Rockets if I was Houston's front office. Move Harden, get some draft picks, bring in some young pieces. John Wall is still young. Listen, John Wall's got young legs, guys, and he's got fresh legs. He's been off for 2 years. Basically a year and 3/4. That's almost 2 seasons he's missed. And he's got a chip on his shoulder. Got traded out of Washington for Russell Westbrook, who I also like too. But if you ask me who I want, I'm going to probably tell you John Wall. Because when John Wall had Bradley Beal and they had an old Paul Pierce, they actually went to the second round of the playoffs, I believe. Paul Pierce hit a shot off the backboard. Chris Broussard asked him, did you call bank? He looked down on me and said, I called game. I called game. Basically he was saying, don't ask me that. That's basically what that response. Don't ask me that. I call game. I love that response by Paul Pierce. But you have Russell Westbrook that got traded. John Wall got traded for, essentially. Washington had to send a first-round draft pick to Houston to make that deal. So you have a first-round draft pick in Houston. You have a young John Wall with young legs and with fresh legs, 2 years off legs, chip on his shoulder. Fastest speed point guard in the league, averaging a career 9 assists a game, can give you anywhere between 20 to 50 points on any given night. Put some young pieces around him, use that first round pick. Houston is a free agent attraction city. Houston's beautiful if you've never been. Houston's the 3rd biggest populated city in this country if you guys didn't know. New York, LA, Houston. If you're into women, there's plenty of them in Houston. If you're into thick women, there's plenty of them in Houston. If you're into beautiful women, there's plenty of them in Houston. If you're into business, international business, if you want to do some acting, they film and shoot things in Houston. If you want a nightlife, plenty of nightclubs and comedy clubs in Houston and lounges and places like that in Houston. You're right there close to the water. If you want a beach house, you can buy one in Corpus Christi and go there in the off season and take your boat out to the Gulf and eat great Gulf seafood. If you guys ever had seafood from the Gulf of Mexico, it's outstanding. I used to live on the East Coast. I've been to New Orleans. That is great seafood that comes out of the Gulf of Mexico. There's something about the waters there. If you ever been to Cozumel, if you ever been to Cancun, that's where they getting that food from. They getting that shrimp and them crab and that crawfish and them oysters. They're getting all of that from the Gulf of Mexico. So it's a life to be had in Houston. They can rebuild with John Wall. If Harden wants to go, I say move him. Turn the keys over to John Wall. But Harden is being honest and telling you, I don't want to be here. And we say we love honesty. And John Wall is getting killed for it. He's getting completely killed. What's going on, everybody, on my IG too? Just real quick, Country Boy, my girl Jessica some more. What's going on, baby? And then let me see what that says right there. Set it the answer. Seti the answer. Set it. See this the answer. Tight, yo, hit me back and let me know what that says, man. I want to make sure I pronounce people's name correctly. Thank you for everybody for tuning in. VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct live on IG, YouTube, Spreaker.com, and iHeartRadio. But this also tells me something about the state of the NBA. And I talked about this on yesterday's show. And a lot of people will call this hating or whatever it is. I don't really care. Like, I'm to the point in my career, I don't care what people say. I don't care what you guys say about me if it's going to be negative. Oh, you're a hater. Okay, whatever. That's cool. I'm the one with the platform. I'm the one with the show. I'm the one that's just giving my opinion. This is all due to the AAU mentality that LeBron James created in the NBA. I want to go play with all the best players. I want to go play here. I want to go play there. I need this guy. I need that guy. I want to go play with this guy. And now it's seeped into the fan base where fans are like, well, what's wrong with that? When you want to have the best people on your squad and on your team, do you see Microsoft trying to pick everybody from Apple and everybody in Apple trying to pick everybody from Microsoft? You see Amazon trying to pick people from FedEx and UPS trying to pick people from FedEx and Amazon? No. Amazon is straight about who they are. They're cool about who they are. They're confident who they are. They're confident in their employees. We got our guys. You got your guys. That's how the world really used to be. That is how this country really used to be. You got your team. I got my team. I've even gotten caught up in that, in acting, comedy, doing skits, doing film. Oh, I want to work with this person and this person and this person and this person. And a lot of times you have to realize everybody doesn't have your drive. Everybody doesn't have your drive. Everybody doesn't have your passion. Everybody doesn't have your skill set. That's another big thing. Everybody doesn't have your skill set. A lot of times your skill set supersedes people you want to work with or people you think you want to work with. And that's not to knock anybody. That's just the facts. That's just the truth. But at the end of the day, it has ruined the NBA. The state of the NBA is so bad right now, and you guys keep letting these blowhards, these overpaid blowhards on TV tell you different. The NBA is in great shape. Adam Silver, the NBA is in great shape. No, it's not. The NBA ratings are down 37% right now, guys. We're tired of it. People are tired of this act. People are tired of players bitching, pissing, and moaning to get out of where they are to go team up, disrespect the competitive balance of the league. Tell me right now, how many teams have played in the finals in the last 10 years? It's like 4 or 5, it's like what, 4 teams? Go to the NFL. How many teams have played for the Super Bowl in the NFL? How many teams have gone to the playoffs in the NFL over the last 10 years? The number supersedes the NBA by far because there's more parity. Guys stick around. They want to get better. They want their team to get better. Front office wants to draft guys. Bring in some free agents to improve your team. Everybody just can't go run. You can't just put all the best receivers and running backs on one football team with the best quarterback in the league. To me, it's cool to watch a quarterback that has to work with the non-drafted guy over here on the right, and then has to work with the 4th-round draft guy, and then a 2nd-round draft running back, and then 3 of his linemen are a 5th-round, an unsigned guy, a guy from free agents. And then they go 12-4, 11-5, make the playoffs. That's impressive. Then all the best players said, well, we're going to come play together. Let's just come play together. Wouldn't it be better if Durant had his own team, and Kyrie had his own team, and LeBron had his own team, and AD had his own team, and Steph Curry had his own team, and Harden had his own team, and Embiid had his own team? And you start off with Lonzo Ball in Charlotte now, Melo in Charlotte now. Zion Williamson's got his own team. Damian Lillard got his own team. Wouldn't the league be better if all the superstars had their own team and then you had to figure out how to form your bench and how to form your role players to come together to go win championships? Wouldn't that be better? It was sure showing the ratings. The finals were down 51%. People are tired of LeBron's act. They just are. Do I admit that some people say some outlandish shit about LeBron and the way the league is today? Yes, I can admit that. Some people go overboard. Some people nitpick at every little thing. I don't think you need to nitpick at every little thing. I just call the facts at what I see. Now that you have your own, it's cryptic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's sadistically set up. You have your own agency. You created your own agency to go get players to come play with you. Like who? That's the competitor. That's how you got AD. They convinced AD to fire his agent, hire Rich Paul, then bitch to get out of New Orleans and come to LA to win the Mickey Mouse Bubblegum Championship that nobody respects. You know why nobody respects it? You know how nobody respects it? When is the last time you've ever seen a Los Angeles Laker player, a Dodger, a Patriot, a Spur, a Celtic, a Yankee, Serena, Nadal, Federer, Jimmy Johnson, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson? I'm naming legends right now. Jordan, Kobe, Duncan, Montana, Marino. When have you ever had to see these guys hold a championship trophy and pretty much beg for their damn respect? Putting Genie and Rob Pelinka in it was bullshit. Nobody, who's disrespected Genie? Who's disrespected Rob Pelinka? No, people don't respect you because of what you've done to the league. And people know you've done this to the league. You know you've done this to the league. When have you ever seen a Los Angeles Laker, Magic, Kobe, Shaq? When Shaq never had to beg for people's respect. Shaq knew, I'm at the point in my career where individual things don't matter. I don't need championships. Me, Kobe, D-Fish, B-Shaw, Big Shot Bob, Phil, we're going to get it. We're going to do it. Can you dig it? I don't worry about respect. I do what I do on the court. I'm a bad MF, most prolific scorer, greatest big man, Shaq Diesel, Shaq Wilt, Chamberlain Easy. I remember he's in Phoenix, he was calling himself the Big Cactus. In Boston, he was the Big Shamrock. But Shaq never had to beg for people's respect. The reason why LeBron had to stand there with a Mickey Mouse Bubblegum Championship and a fake-ass finals MVP in his hand and have to pretty much beg for people's respect is because his peers in the greats don't respect what he's done to the league. James Harden is the latest example. Once out of Houston, wants to go to a contender. You've been a contender. Yesterday I talked about how the NFL, it's so past the NBA. It's not even funny. You guys need to stop listening to these people on the radio and TV telling you that the NBA is somehow caught up to the NFL. The top most 30 viewed things in the history of this country, 29 of them are the Super Bowl. Look it up. Top 30 of all time. The top 29 out of the top 30 are the Super Bowl. And NBA Finals is not even close. And that's with Michael Jordan. The 98 Finals, still the highest rated finals in the history of the NBA. Game 6 of the 98 Finals, Jordan with the shot in the pose. And we thought Jordan was just giving a symbol. And once again, we let the blowhards convince us. Bob Costas and Jordan holds the pose as if to say, this is my last. And then we watched the Last Dance, the 10-part series. Jordan said, no, I held it because my jumper was short all fourth quarter. And I needed every piece of energy I had at the end of my career with everything I had been through, and this was without social media. Could you imagine if there was social media when Jordan played? We've raised Jordan up all these years to watch the Last Dance 10-part finals, 10-part series to tear Jordan down. Oh, well, he went and gambled that one night. Oh, or people, I'm old enough to remember where people actually thought that his father was killed and murdered over a gambling debt. Could you imagine if that was today? These soft-ass players in the NBA would fall apart. The NBA is not even close to the NFL. The players are softer. The officiators is worse as it's ever been. There's no defense. LeBron James made all-team first defense last year, and we all watch the games and tell you LeBron plays no defense. He'll guard a guy late in the game if they're up 2 or 3 points. And if they get a stop, then he's yelling and flexing and screaming at the crowd. It's like, bro, you sat on the low box all game. You really did. You sat on the low box. And now you come out. And then what happens the next morning? All the LeBron apologists, your Shannon Sharp, your Nick Rice. Oh, my God, did you see LeBron? Who said, Shannon Sharp, who said LeBron can't play defense? Skip. Skip, come on now, Skip. Who said LeBron can't play defense, Skip? I watched the king, that GOAT James, Skip. That GOAT James. Sometimes Shannon Sharp don't even know what the hell he's saying. Shannon Sharp is funny to me, and I'm not knocking. I'm part of me is being a comedian right now. I am a comedian, 18-year comedian. But Shannon Sharp will say some shit. It don't make Shannon Sharp be like, Skip, my grandmama used to tell me this. In life, you either gonna be a dog or you gonna be a goat. The difference is, Skip, the difference is, Skip, dog gonna chase a car. Goat gonna eat a can. Now go ahead and tell me what that means. Like, what the fuck did you just, what the fuck is that? The dog gonna chase a car, the goat gonna eat a can? What the fuck? That's what, I mean, but, and you get these people that come on TV and they mind rape you guys. You see him play defense yesterday. Who said GOAT James can't play defense? I saw him play defense. Locked up Kawhi Leonard. Locked him up. Yeah, for the up 4 points on 2 possessions. Kawhi misses a jump shot. You lock him up. That's how the narrative goes in the NBA. That's what's damaged the game. You got guys, well, James Harden don't play no defense. Show me where the defense is in the NBA. I got another stat for you right here. And this is off the dome because I've said it so much and I know it. There's two teams over the last 3 years that have averaged defensively less than 100 points a game. Every team in the league over the last 3 years has given up 100 points a game. Tell me where the defense is. There's no defense. Guys can actually put their shoulder down, create contact on offense, and get a foul. And you watch defenders backtrack, you watch defenders stand like this, moving their feet, and you put your shoulder on my chest, it's a foul on me? What am I supposed to do? If I was in the NBA, I'd just look at the ref and go, what do you want me to do? Just tell, okay, you're the ref. Tell me why they shooting free throws. I'd walk over to the ref and say, okay, listen, no beef, first of all, how you doing? How's the missus? How's the kids? All right, cool. What do you want me to do? I'm moving my feet. I'm straight up. I got my hands up. My hands are. He lowers his shoulder. What do you want me to do? And you're calling a foul on me. What am I supposed to do? Not to say there's not bad calls and bad strikes and bad balls and bad calls and bad holding and bad pass interference. You know, in football, I mean, the worst call in football is roughing the passer nowadays, right? The worst call in football is probably is roughing the passer. It's not to say there's not bad calls there, but it's every other possession in the NBA. The referees could control the game with the whistle. You don't get that in football. No player can, the league, no player's bigger than the shield. And I actually like that. No player's bigger than the MLB emblem. No racer's bigger than the NASCAR symbol. No tennis player, no hockey player, no golfer. Nobody's bigger than the league. The NBA is the only league that allows players to be bigger than the league. It's bad for business. It's horrible for business. The NBA is down 37%. You guys are telling me here. And listen, this was just last year when everybody was locked down at home and you couldn't go anywhere. People still didn't watch the NBA. You couldn't even go anywhere. People still would not watch the NBA. And speaking on these people that get on the radio and get on TV, listen, this whole debate world we live in right now, it's dying, guys. Go look at the ratings of some of these shows. They're horrible. And some of these networks are paying these guys millions of dollars. People are tired of the stick, guys. They're tired of it. James Harden is just the latest example. The WNBA was up 15%. Think about that. People are going to watch the WNBA. And who started that push? For real. What player or former player really started bringing attention to that? Kobe Bryant. Kobe. Think about that. You got all these other men in the league with all this power. And you sit on your phone and you tweet, oh, that's my girl, and great shot or great game. Do something with your power. Kobe actually did something with his power. He was helping empower the WNBA. If Kobe had not died, almost coming up on a year, He was really about to be an ambassador for the WNBA. I could see him actually probably being the commissioner of the WNBA would have been within the next 5 to 6, 7 years. Priming and prepping it for when Gigi would have come into the league. Because Gigi was on her way to UConn. That was set. Gigi was going to UConn. And it wasn't because she was Kobe's daughter. It's because she was going to be a beast. She was already a beast for her age and maybe 2 years ahead of her. I don't remember how old she was, but if she was 13, she could play with the 15-year-olds. If she was 11, she could play with the 13 and 14-year-olds. She was on that pace. Kobe was an ambassador for the WNBA. Shows in the ratings up 15%. And people say nobody watches women's basketball. That's bullshit. Also, shout out last night to the Stanford female women's coach, all-time leading wins and women's college basketball, passing the late, great Miss Pat Summitt. So that was another milestone. And you guys know I love to give props to the ladies in sports. I love Serena. I cheered for Danica Patrick. I rooted for Danica. I wanted Danica to win a race. One year in the Daytona 500, she ran in the top 5 or 6 all day long. And with 2 laps to go, she's like in 3rd place. They split the middle open, sucked her in the middle, and sucked her back to like 10th place. They left her out to dry. These good old boys that swear they're so, with today's times, no, they're not. They left Danica out to dry. What's up, JR? I see you in there, player. I appreciate you. Luis Estrada. What's going on? Country Boy 45. What's going on, peoples? I appreciate you guys for joining in. VJs on Sports with Like Conduct, live on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, and on YouTube. And on my IG. James Harden is just the latest example of the state of the NBA and why I've said it for years, and I'm going on about year 5 or 6 now of telling you guys the NBA is lame. Yes, I will watch the games sometimes because I got to talk about them. I do sports talk radio. I do sports talk TV. I'm a broadcast journalist. I'm building my own sports comedy network. There are some games I will peep in on. I will watch the playoff games. I like Damian Lillard. I like Zion Williamson. I like Steph Curry. I like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is from the DMV. How can I not ride with Kevin Durant? I like Kyrie Irving. I like Jason Tatum. There are players I like. I'm a Pistons fan. I still check in on my Pistons. Every night. Did we win or lose or did we play? We didn't play? Okay, cool. At least we didn't lose. But we played. Did we win or lose? If I can watch the game some way, find it on the website, find it online, I'll sit and I'll put it on my phone, set my phone up, what I'm doing. I'll watch my Pistons. But the NBA is in bad shape, people. And it's because people are sick of, they're sick of the stick. They're tired. People are tired of it. And you have to point to the leader of the league. The leader of the league is LeBron James. You have done this to the league, sir. When everybody talks about how much he cared, he doesn't care about nobody. He's a narcissist. He doesn't care about nobody but himself. He doesn't care about the state of the league. He's the guy who talked about contraction, eliminating teams. How the hell are you going to try to talk about taking paychecks away from other grown men, especially black men? No one talks about that, though. We talked about a school, we talked about this, and we talk about that. Come on. Open your eyes. Look what Harden is doing. He's following suit. Kevin Durant got ripped for leaving OKC and going to Golden State. He even said it. Why did he do it? He even said why he did it. Why did he do it? Because I don't have a ring. I'm being compared to these guys. And LeBron did it, and it was all good. For LeBron to do it when I did it, it was a problem. He came out and said that in an interview. The NBA's in bad shape. People need to wake up and really realize that. And the ratings are going to plummet again this year. They're going to go down again. It's not about activism. It's not about Black Lives. Don't let the media fool you with that bull. Don't let the media fool you with that bullshit. That ain't got nothing to do with it at all. Trust me. People are just tired of it. There's been activism in the league. There's been players that spoke out before. People are just tired of the stick. And James Harden is the latest. Yesterday I said on the show, Giannis actually saved the league for now. I thank Giannis for what he did by signing the Supermax to stay where you are. See what you can do with Holiday and Middleton. See what you can do with a draft pick. See what you can do with another young. It's the coaching staff's job to find these gems, find these other players and bring them in. A lot of free agents are going to not come to Milwaukee. Have you been to Milwaukee? Have you seen Milwaukee? It's cold. It's dreary. It's real cold in Milwaukee. Like 0 from November to March. That's hard to sell. There's no beaches. There's no beaches. There's no hot nightlife like that. There's no celebrities around. Everybody comes to Los Angeles, even though people, when they get here, they realize how expensive this shit is. And sooner or later, they go, okay, I'm getting the hell out of here. There's a report, Colin Cowherd's moving to Vegas. He's getting taxed 14%. And there's a law that goes into effect next year that the rich here, the taxes are going to go 14%, 14% taxed. When you're making that much money, I'd leave too. There's no way in hell if I'm making $6-7 million a year doing sports talk and sports TV and making these astronomical contracts, you're taxing me 14%. I'm staying here. Let me go ahead and get this money up for a good 4 or 5 years. I'm telling my wife, my kids, everybody, listen, we out. Texas, Dallas, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, we're gone. Well, I am not doing this. Nevada's got no state tax. And I can gamble and watch all the sports I want in Nevada. I could buy and build a big-ass crib off of $6 million for 5 years in Nevada. I'm talking with all the trimmings. And leave it to my kids. When I'm cold in my grave rested, I know my kids are living fat. Why do you think Floyd Mayweather lives in Vegas? You guys have seen him profile his house. And with the money, his house is stupid. There are rock stars that live in Vegas. There are celebrities that live in Vegas. There are rappers that live in Vegas. There are athletes. There are actors. There are actresses. There are a lot of people that say, you know what? I'm going to come out here and make the money, but I'm about to go build me a house out in Vegas. Or I'm about to go buy me and build me a house down in Atlanta. Or I'm about to go buy me and build me a house out in the suburb of Dallas. Or the suburb of Houston. Or out in Arizona. I ain't going to Arizona. Arizona's too racist for me. That shit I'm not dealing with. I ain't dealing with. They ain't even want Martin Luther King to have a holiday there. So I'm definitely not moving there and trying to live there. But to just end my rant, man, we say we want honesty, and when people give you honesty right in your face, people just don't want to accept it. James Harden is at least being honest. And I'm being honest when I'm telling you that the NBA is on a downslide. Since LeBron James took over the league, the NBA's done this. Kobe and Shaq, Michael Jordan, Bird and Magic. Look at the numbers. LeBron James. Oh, it's all hate. No, people are tired of your stick, dude. People are sick of your shit. People are sick of this AAU mentality, and it's all for you. Like, AD was really the best player on that team last year, but once they won the championship, what did the media do? LeBron. Like that puppet commercial they used to have with, remember the little kid? LeBron. AD's gotten 0 mentions in the offseason. 0. He led the team in scoring, rebounds, and blocks. Go figure. Was up for Defensive Player of the Year. And a lot of people thought should have won it. Offseason comes, win a championship, begs for his respect. Nobody says anything about AD. Nobody says nothing about Kyrie. Kyrie's a laughing stock or an afterthought, but he only averaged, 28-9 or 24-9, 25-9 in that finals? Hits the game-winning shot in Game 7 against Golden State Warriors? Nah, it's not Kyrie, though. And you guys could call it, I don't care. You guys could call it 80. You call what you want. Just tell me where the lie is. That's all I ask people is just tell me where the lie is. 3.04 million viewers across 3 networks on average on 83 telecasts last year in the bubble. And people had to sit home and still wouldn't watch the league. And most people knew the Lakers were probably going to go to the finals. And they had the best team. The Lakers are a super popular franchise in the world. I think they're the 3rd richest franchise in the world. Is the Cowboys, the Yankees, and I believe the Lakers. Are the Cowboys, the Lakers, and Yankees? Are the Yankees and the Lakers and the Cowboys? It's those 3. I'm just not sure the order. But it's those 3. Lakers, Cowboys, Yankees. And you mean to tell me all you could draw was basically 3.4 viewers over 3 networks, over 83 telecasts? And I got your call coming in, brother. Just stay quiet for a second. Let me finish this point and I'll bring you in. So when I really look at it, the numbers don't lie. 51% the finals were down. 51%. People are tired of it. They're tired of LeBron shit. They're tired of the NBA. They're tired of prima donnas. I don't want to play here. Move me there. Could you imagine if, think about it like this. Could you imagine if Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey cried to get, he bitched to get out of Jacksonville. He didn't give a list of teams. He just said, get me out of here. He just simply said, yo, I don't want to be here. Get me out of here. Carson Wentz just got benched. He's not going to go to Philly. You can't go to Philly, the front office with a list of teams. Dude, we paid you $100 million. We'll trade you if you want out. Cool, but you don't give us a list. It doesn't work that way. That's why I say basketball players, you could never live in a football world. And yes, there may be a little jealousy of NBA players and NFL players because of the money that the NBA guys make. Absolutely. The highest paid pro athlete should be an NFL player. The mentality, the mindset, the wear and tear on the bodies. Are you kidding me? If anybody deserves $228 million over 5 years, it's a quarterback. If anybody deserves a max deal at 190, it's a running back or a receiver. Offensive linemen should be making 50, 60, 70 million. Do you know what it's like? I had Richmond Webb on the show the other day. He held up his hand. You should see this man's fingers. You know what it's like to play offensive lineman for 12, 13, 14 years in the National Football League? Give me a break. But James Harden is at least being honest. I will give him that. And I don't want to hear about streaming when it comes to somebody's hitting the chat box up now talking about streaming when it comes to ratings. I don't want to hear that shit. The last 3 Super Bowls, when streaming is available, they're in the top 13 most watched programs ever in this country. So I don't want to hear shit about streaming on an average of 97 million viewers. So I don't want to hear shit about streaming. Streaming counts towards your ratings too, people. Smarten up. Do you think this country and the FCC would allow streaming to continue if it didn't count towards the Nielsen ratings? Come on, people. Stop it. Comment right here from DJ Miss Cookie. She says, but I blame the league. LeBron actually sees how effed up and easily the league can be bought. Okay. And you know what? I'll give you that. And that shows you that I'm not being a hater. I will give you that. That makes perfect sense. And listen, I said this to Chris Broussard when I was on the Odd Couple over on Fox Sports Radio. He's one of the smartest pro athletes that has ever walked the planet. That's why I don't like when people try to defend some of the shit he does, because it's like, dude, he's not stupid. He knows exactly what he's doing. Sign this guy, got the Morris twin. What, I forget if it's Marquise or Marcus, got the Morris twin to fire his agent, sign with him to make sure that they didn't go sign with a contending team. He wanted to go to the Spurs, and they sent his ass to the Pistons. Something fell through with the Spurs deal. Come on, bro. You're setting, and listen, I get it. I do. I really get it. White people set the system up in this country for years and years and years. A black man has some power to set the system up for himself. Fine. I want to make sure that that's clear and people hear me when I'm saying that's fine. But I'm still just telling you facts though, right? Okay. So it just is what it is. Doesn't mean I have to like it, and I don't like it for the NBA. The only person it's helping is him. It's not helping anybody else. Kyrie's got a championship. Nobody talks about it. Love's got a championship. Nobody talks about it. Dwayne Wade's got 3 championships. Dwayne Wade's an afterthought. Who talks about Chris Bosh? He's got 2 championships there in Miami. It's all LeBron, and he knows it. He's smart. His ears to the ground. He's been caught way too many times where he goes, I don't pay attention to that. But then you mentioned something that was on Twitter. You mentioned something that was posted here. You mentioned something that Skip says. You mentioned something that Jason Whitlock says. You listen, like we know, dude. Passive aggressive. Some people don't like passive aggressive people. I'm just one of them. And that's not him, that's anybody. I don't like passive aggressive people. I don't. We can still talk and we can still chill. That doesn't mean I totally am 100% sold into liking you. You got something to say that shit. Put it out there. And maybe that's part of my comedian mindset where we're the balance of this planet. We say the shit that you guys really want to say. That's why I love being a comedian. I'm not doing the PC shit. I already stay away from certain things. I don't talk about gays. I don't talk about religion. I don't talk about, I walk the fine line on talking about sexual things or women issues and women body. I stay away from that shit. But that's just who I am. That's not being PC. That's just who I am and who I was raised to be. But I'll joke about and talk about any fucking thing else on the planet and not care what anybody says. Miss Cookie also says again, F the football commissioner and them fucking slave owners. They're all slave owners though. Don't don't talk about football. They're all slave owners. MLB, NHL, NFL, and NBA. Put everybody in the bucket. That's another problem I have. You people can't just pick at what you... This is not a buffet. You can't just pick what you want. You either eating or you not. Period. You can't just sample what you want. You don't get a little General Tso's chicken, and then a little orange chicken, and then a little lo mein, and then a little fried rice. Nah, you gotta eat all that shit. You gotta eat the Beijing beef. You gotta get them overcooked, dried ass spring rolls that's been sitting in that damn warming tray for the last 2.5 hours. You gotta eat a fortune cookie, that runny ass, overly sugary and milky ice cream from the machine. You gotta eat all that shit. You don't get to just pick. You gonna call NFL owners slave owners? They're all slave owners. Your boss is a slave owner. You're CEO of the company that everybody watching and listening and work for, they're a slave owner. So if you gonna call the NFL commissioner and owners slave owners, just call it across the board. That's my only thing. That's my only thing. It's just like, if you go boycott the NFL, then take off your Nike, take off your Timberland, take off your Gucci belt, stop driving that Benz, stay out of Walmart, stay out of Target. Let's get real. Like you can't come half-assed to VJ. I'm sorry. You can't come half-assed to me. Because I'm going to call it across the board. Stay out of all that shit then. If you mad at the NFL, okay, you watching the NBA. The NBA makes it mandatory you stand for the national anthem. Nobody says shit about that. It's mandatory you stand. Ask Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, a.k.a. Chris Jackson out of LSU. Ask Craig Hodges from the Chicago Bulls. Don't get me going on this topic today. I told y'all I'm the big vanilla color card. I got a deck of these shits. I'm ready. Don't even get me going on those topics. The NBA makes it. That's why the NBA call it's a fake ass activism league. That's why people trying to blame Black Lives Matter on the court for the ratings. No, man, that fake ass activism. They've already said this year they're not putting it on the court and they're not doing any activism this year. But you were so strong on doing it for the bubble because you had the platform for the bubble. I call bullshit from day one. I went on air. I called bullshit from day one. Said, man, don't y'all believe that bullshit. They're going to use, they said two damn names, Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And black people were still getting shot and killed out here by the police during the playoffs and during the finals. And the one thing LeBron wants to do is talk about his damn respect. Jeannie's respect. Right, man, kiss my vanilla ass. Kiss my ass, man. Call it like you see it. You could be a fan of whoever you want to be a fan of, but call the bullshit out. I'm a Kobe guy. Colorado was some bullshit, bro. You fucked up. You fucked up in the hotel room. You fucked up in the police station. Don't mean you can't bounce back in life. The greatest thing about life is second chances. But call people out on their shit. It's allowed. It's okay. People can call me out on my shit. I grow. It's cool. Y'all got me. Woo. I actually like you. Hold on, Miss Cookie. I like you. I like you. Keep listening in. She goes, MLB don't even want to hire black American players. You're right. But at the end of the day, they employ a lot of my Latino. I'm black and Dominican. They employ a lot of our Latino brothers and sisters. They black too. Dominicans, Cubanos, they black. They're black. The slave ship stopped through there too. She said, I believe Colorado was... Oh, you need to call in. I like you. Where do I know you from? Are you a fan on the Michael Collier Morning Show? Do you know me over there? Or we just connected on IG. Anyway, I love this right here. And she goes, they sure are. I guess my response talking about the other owner. So, and one more comment, then I'm gonna get to my caller and my guest I got right now. But like the movie Color said, why run down, frown, fuck one when you can walk down, fuck them all, you can all conquer one at a time. Yeah, I get it, man. But listen. Don't get me heated. Don't get me hot today, guys. You're going to call it out on one thing. Make sure you call across the board. Special guest call coming in right now. Young and aspiring sports talk show host. I'm going to actually give him some tough love. Not on air, but privately. And I'm telling him on air just so he knows that it's coming. Because I believe in this kid and I think he's got something special. But you guys know how it is. Sometimes people need a little extra kick in the butt. And it's nothing personal. It's because you got love for somebody. And I would love to see him on Vesta Network with his own show one day. And that's what's in the plans right now. But he knows his basketball. Basketball is his shit. He's a big Raider fan. And we'll flip over to the Raiders right now and talk about the game tonight because they do have a real big game. He's got his own show. He comes to us from Death Valley out in Palm Springs. I think there's 3.5 black people in Palm Springs where he's at. Way out there. That's why I've never been there. And it's also hot as shit. And she goes, yes, from the Michael Collier Morning Show. Okay, baby, I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm so glad I'm bringing fans over to my show from his show. Man, God is blessing me. My man, Sage Alvarez. What's going on, player?
Hey, what's going on, man?
You tell me. You the man. If I had your hands, I'd cut mine off. You must never heard that one before. All right, man. I don't know how long you've been listening to the show. Just real quick on the NBA. You're an NBA guy. Make it as quick as you can. James Harden, state of the NBA. Now he puts out a list. He wants to go here, go there, go here, go there. And I'm just like, this is the LeBron effect, man. I don't care what anybody says. And this is what the league is now, and it's trash. And I bang on the league all the time. You hear my show. We talk privately. I'm almost ready to be like, man, fuck the NBA. This shit's ridiculous. And the league is set for one guy. You heard me say they came back to play the bubble last year for one reason. The Lakers and LeBron James, that's it. And I don't believe that they didn't have any positive COVID tests too. I'm not buying that shit. Because if you have one test, you have to shut the whole operation down because you're in a bubble. The NFL, I said on the show yesterday, them not doing a bubble was super smart. Because it's like, listen, man, if we do a bubble and we have a positive test, we have to shut this shit down. Listen, we're going to give you extra practice squad players. We're going to give you extra roster spots. Somebody test positive, they got to sit down. Next man up. Your thoughts on James Harden, the state of the NBA?
When you got a guy like James Harden, you got a guy that has a lot of freedom in his career. Like the one thing that, as much as I love that Giannis did the extension, but that was typical NBA stuff. If you look back even to LeBron and the Cavaliers, who gives up that type of contract? That type of guaranteed money. We're talking about $250 million. You're going to tell me that you're going to risk it for 1 year, and if you get like a KD type of injury, you might still get that money, but in the back of your head, you're like, you got to take the guaranteed money. It's a business decision at the end of the day. But when you got your second contract, once you get through with this $250 million, the next one, I don't know if he stays. I don't know if he's going to stay loyal to the Bucks. But you know what? He's guaranteed to stay loyal right now because that $250 million sounds really good in his bank account in a pandemic, for sure.
So you think it was more about the money and not the loyalty? Put your name on it, homie, because it sounds like that's what you're saying. Put your name on it.
No, it's $250 million.
Okay. I ain't mad at you. I love that. I love that take.
It's the right decision.
Yeah, no, I love that take. I just want to hear. I like people if they're gonna say it, put a stamp on it, put your name on. I agree with you.
It's about the money, not the. It's like, of course, he wish he could have got to a different roster. Blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, it's about perception, too, because he's already seen what happens when you pull LeBron, you pull a KD, You do stuff and become the quote unquote villain of the league. Me. Of course, I'm a Laker fan, and I wasn't always open to LeBron coming to the Lakers at first. Because I'm a diehard Kobe fan. So at the end of the day, I didn't really like that. Now I'm mixing with LeBron fans because I think most of them were kind of unrealistic at times. And, I think his whole career they've been shouting that he's better than Jordan. Like, the whole Kobe's career, they said Jordan can never beat Kobe, and he was. To me, he got a little bit better than Jordan, but that's a different discussion for a different day. But back to James Harden. James Harden is in control of his career now. He obviously sees everything falling apart there, and he created that too. Because I read an article yesterday about the quote unquote AAU environment that he created, but no one can. But here's the other thing.
Are you talking about the piece by Rob Parker?
Double, 50, dropping 50 points on the daily, 40 points on the daily. Like, that guy's showing up for you. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell him what not to do when he's showing up to put up those type of performances, which is special.
Are you talking about the piece that Rob Parker wrote for Deadspin?
Part of that, yeah.
Okay.
He did talk about that.
Do you not agree? Because I read it. Like, Rob a lot of times will send me pieces before he even puts them out. That's the type of mentor he's been to me. So I read it, I think a day before, if I'm not mistaken, that it came out. Do you not agree with that piece?
I do.
Okay, so you do agree with it. Okay, because I totally agree with it. And on the show the other day with him and Chris, he talked about it, and I agreed. Giannis helped save the NBA for now. He says he saved the NBA. I add on for now because I know there's another player in a year or two who's going to bitch and cry about where he is and is going to make a stink. My beef with AD was just a year before you were so unhappy. You swept Portland as the underseed and everything was all good. How all of a sudden, and I believe they took Golden State did they take Golden State to 6 or 5? The following round.
Did they get? Was it 5? It could have been 5.
It could have been 5. I know it wasn't a sweep, but I'm not sure if it was 6. So it might have been 5. But that was gonna happen. It was Golden State. They were going to the finals. They had the squad to do it and win the championship. But at the end of the day, you were happy a year before. You let a guy come in and convince you to fire your agent so you could come play with him. And let's get real. You know this. I don't respect that championship just like I don't respect the Dodgers. It's not an LA hate thing. You want me to respect the 60-game MLB World Series? Are you fucking kidding me? You cancel. Okay, so let's cancel 12 NFL games, play 4 games, and then you tell me you're going to respect that Super Bowl champion. Just somebody tell me that. Somebody tell me that if Ohio State wins the college championship this year, and this is not a Michigan thing, it's not my fault they only have 5 games they played. But I know Alabama, I know there's other teams that play 9-10 games. How is a 5-game team, fresher bodies, fresher legs, less wear and tear, you get into the playoffs and you go win the national championship? You want me to really count that? Stop it.
You still got to respect it, though, even if it's not.
No, I don't.
"Quote unquote" like actual championship. But at the same time, this is the hardest, the most difficult tournament in the entire world, right here, right happy in each bubble. Or like the quote NFL doesn't have a bubble. Baseball, they did what they could. At least the playoffs, they did the bubble so they can get the fans in the games. Different sites.
No.
They're special in their own way. It's not taken away because you think about all the mental, like just the extreme difficulties that the stories are coming out about players. I was listening to Paul George and All the Smoke. He talks about the mental fatigue, and Matt Barnes even had to call him one night because he could sense it in his face that he was just, mentally just struggling with the Clippers at times.
And you blame that on the bubble? Come on, Sage. You're smarter than that, dude.
It's just COVID year, man. Like, let's be real though. Like, it's like you're away from these guys are rich, have all their money, but they're away from their families. They're away from spending all their riches. They're literally stuck in a bubble that, for them, they're accustomed to 5-star hotels. They're accustomed to the lifestyle, and you took all away from you. Like, you're just gonna ball now. For a lot of them, they are diehard ballers, but some of them, they were just about the money. Like, let's be real, there is athletes out there that are just playing because of the money.
Yeah, I can't hold water on that, bro. My thing is no travel. There's no travel, no city to city, no flights. You ball, you go back. You ball, you go back. You ball, you go back. You get on the bus. It takes you across the bubble, across the campus and some shit. We know secretly people were leaving. We know secretly people were having girls come in and getting what they want. Everybody wasn't eating the same food. I am not going to believe that the superstars are eating some of them damn bag lunches that we were seeing on social media. Get up, dog. FOH. FOH. Stop it. I'm not. Oh, are you kidding me? There's too much power in that, man. You're not giving me. I'm not eating this damn. Did you see them damn bag lunches people were posting? And remember, the NBA came out and told the players, could you stop that, please? Could you stop posting the food? Could you stop posting the room accommodations? You think every player stayed in rooms that some of the people... No, I'm sorry. Anyway, listen, let's move on to tonight because I don't have a lot of time today. Big Raider fan going against the Chargers. Raiders need this win. Fired their defensive coordinator this week, giving up 30 points a game. I probably would have fired him too. 25th ranked defense at 385 yards a game. You and I have talked about the Raiders at extent. I am still on the side that I don't think Derek Carr's their guy. I think they have to say it because Gruden used to do the quarterback room. He did that shit for 10 years. Monday Night Football. He talked about the psyche of a quarterback every Monday night for a decade. He knows you have to say certain things. And I think if there's a guy available that they can look at in the future to add a spark. Listen, they had the 14th ranked offense at 27 points a game. But they have about 1,500 yards on the ground. A lot of that's coming from Jacobs. So, and I get that people like Carr. I'm just still on the side of I'm not convinced that Mike Mayock and Gruden like him as much as Raider fans like. I threw this scenario out the other day, and I'll let you talk about tonight's game real quick. Dak Prescott to the Vegas Raiders this offseason and put him in camp with Carr and let him battle it out. I don't think there's a chance in hell it would happen, but man, would that be a great offseason story. A guy like Dak for a city like Vegas coming from Dallas, and they didn't give him his money. Vegas will pay him out. Davis will pay him. And I think Gruden would love that. You put a guy like that with Ruggs the third and with Jacobs and with Big Dub. I call him Big Dub. At tight end, you got Big Dub at tight, and you got and you throw Dak in there that can move around, more mobile. To me, was on pace for 5,000. Carr's never going to throw for 5,000. But anyway, tonight's game, Raiders and Chargers. What do your guys need to do, man? You lose the night, there's no playoffs.
Oh, it's a win out. They have to win out. But speaking about like just the Carr and the Dak situation, like you have Derek Carr, who's done nothing but like run a good to great offense this year. It's not on him. It's literally on the defense. That's why the defensive coordinator got fired. And partly it isn't his fault, but at the end of the day, you got to produce, and they're not producing. You have guys looking lost out there. You have Raider fans really mad at Abrams for how much he's badly missing some coverages. And, obviously the biggest one was the Kansas City Chiefs game, which he blew, that got Kelsey the touchdown that won them the game in the final 2 minutes. So, I mean, we should have got a field goal. We should have went to overtime. Derek Carr led an offense to beat the reigning Super Bowl champs. Should have won twice. At the end of the day, if a guy that can beat those type of teams, what type of upgrade is really Dak? At the end of the day, he's an upgrade over Carr, but how much? And then what price are you paying? Because I've been saying this from the beginning of the season. I'm gonna say it till next season because we should do a back-to-back draft. Draft defensive players in the first round, please. Like, get some defensive help. They are bad. Like, they need help. They are young, talented, but they're not good. They're bad. You just said a 27. Imagine that defense in a, 10 to 15 range. Our Raiders offense is, top 6. in the NFL.
Then hold on, real quick.
They have limited opportunities. They don't get the ball back that much.
Okay, so hold on, just real quick. Let me ask you this: if you're talking about bringing in players, then why fire your defensive coordinator?
He's not doing a good job because your young studs that you just drafted in the early rounds are looking lost on coverages. Like you had Arnett miss some coverages huge. You had Mullen, who was a second-round pick out of Clemson last year. You had him miss a huge play against the Carolina Panthers back in Week 1 that allowed Anderson to go off for a huge touchdown. I want to say like 67-yard touchdown that literally almost got Carolina back in the game and almost led them to win the game. So Carr led a field goal touchdown drive, and the Raiders were not there. They're not there yet. The defense is not there. The offense is playoff ready. I don't know if there's obviously I still think there's better offenses than the Raiders. There's at least 5, but at the end of the day, the defense is so bad that the Raiders' offense is not getting on the field enough. They're not being able to make Kirk Cousins. I feel like gets the ball more at times, but.
Well, the Raiders have the 14th ranked offense in the league. They're putting up 370 yards a game, and like I said, they got about 1,500 on the ground. They're averaging 27 points a Sunday. I don't think I don't think the offense is an issue. I mean, the defense is the issue, but they fired the defensive coordinator, which tells me that they think they have the guys, that the defensive coordinator is just not putting them in position. And listen, I said this the other day on the show. I would just call it what it is, man. If not for a dumbass corner, an undrafted guy stopping his feet and dropping his rear end on a pump and go with 18 seconds to go and a 6-man blitz and cover 3 deep third, you guys lose to the Jets. The Jets are the bum ass Jets haven't won anything this year. Like it's like when I watch that team, I look at them and I go, the Raiders are a team I look at. They could be 12-4, or they could be 6-10. That's where I say, and I still believe in. Like I said before, I've said this many times. I still believe in Mayock. I still believe in Gruden. But tonight's a big game, man. You're going against the Chargers, 8th ranked offense. They got about 1,500 on the ground, 383, 22 points a game. They have the 9th ranked defense, and this is why I can't understand why you would fire Anthony Lynn. I think Anthony Lynn's job is done this year. But you have both top 10 offense and defense. I hate it for him. But talk to me about tonight, man. What's your pick? And I know you're going to pick the Raiders because I've never heard you pick anything but the Raiders. I still want my sandwich and my ginger ale from you. I don't know if you've listened to the show. I've been smoking my picks, dude. Like smoking my picks. I went 11-2 this past week. My record right now is 84. Hold on, let me find it. Because I want to. My record right now is 94-39-1 this year. I am gonna finish. I don't know if I'm gonna hit 85-15, but I'm gonna finish over 80%. If I had some money, man, I'd be rich as hell because I'd be betting in Vegas every damn Sunday.
I don't know how you're not going to Vegas every week with those type of picks, man.
Because I'm broke. The fuck am I going? What am I going to Vegas with? These blue eyes, these blue eyes, and all this outrageous personality. You can't bet that.
Man, you know, I'm definitely going with the Raiders tonight.
Okay,
but
so
what concerns me is that you got David Arnett, Stephen Farrell, and you got McKinley out. So the Raiders a little banged up on defense. I still think Max Crosby can get to Herbert. I think he can still create pressure on the Chargers' offensive line. For the Raiders, offensive line's been banged up, but Trent Brown coming back has been huge. I don't think they used him right last week. I think that's what was really bad in the Colts game. I think we kept going left too much. I think we were trying to get Trent Brown back into the rhythm. He's a Pro Bowl type of player that has been hurt all year. Story of the Raiders, just banged up offensive line, just defense, just all banged up. We don't have enough for the most part this year. And Carr has made up that gap. That's why I keep saying Carr has really been that guy, been one of the highest QBRs in the league. This guy is really just trying his best. I mean, this week, no Ruggs, no Edwards. For the Chargers, I mean, they got their future. I mean, I didn't call. I believe you called it this whole offseason that you said take Herbert over Tua, and look at him now. I would pick him definitely over Tua right now. So you were right on that, no doubt.
Well, right now, yeah, and that's because I got to stick to my guns. I had Richmond Webb on, former Miami Dolphin, 3-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler on the other day, and I told him the one thing I did see on Sunday against the Chiefs is I saw pieces of Tua that other people see. The touchdown pass to Gesicki, the second one, between two guys and over a third, and you put it up high where only Gesicki can go get it. Climbing the pocket very well. Miami started 3 rookies on offense last week, and yeah, he took some sacks, but there were some plays, man, where the offensive line pushed pass rushers past him, and he climbed the pocket and made some really good throws. I think also helps Herbert having Hunter Henry and Keenan Allen, and the Dolphins can't keep anybody healthy at the receiver core. Another receiver just got put in the COVID protection list, so the receiver room is super thin. Jakeem Grant's hurt, but he's going to go. I think he's going to give it a go Sunday against the Patriots. Parker's hurt, but I think they said he's probably going to give it a go. He's been hurt all year. He's been hurt all season long, but hasn't missed a game because they kind of need him. Gesicki's probably going to miss this week. So Tua's had to do this with 6 different starting running backs, and pretty much every receiver is hurt. And I think Herbert's had better luck at that position. I still love Justin, and I'm still going to stick to my guns, but I told people, listen, Tua take me to a bowl, I'll tell everybody I was wrong. I'll come out and be like, hey, I was wrong on the kid. I said also, too, on the odd couple with Chris Broussard, I think Jalen Hurts going to be a better pro. Jalen Hurts comes in, gets a start against the Saints. Next Sunday, what does he do? Go get a win. Carson Wentz would have lost that game. Carson Wentz is done in Philly. He'll never start unless it's injury reasons. He'll never start again for the Eagles. He's done.
He should be done.
Yeah.
I think it's time to move on. I think that contract makes it really, really difficult. I mean, I think I saw the number was like, 53.2, 53 million-ish. If you cut him, that's how much he hits you. If you trade him, that's how much he hits your cap. So he's a very valuable backup for them next year. I don't see how you could trade him.
You can't trade him because of the money.
That's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible to trade him. It's impossible to trade him. It's impossible to trade him because of the money. So, no, you're right. They definitely won't trade him. They can't trade him. They're going to have to keep him as a backup. But I believe it's Jalen Hurts' team.
Shout out to the Dolphins' backup receiver. I mean, you got Lynn Bowen out here making plays.
Yeah.
He had 9 targets for right here 7 catches for 82 yards.
Yeah.
With
Lynn Bowen. And Chad Gailey came out and said that they asked him a lot. They asked a lot for him that week in practice, and they said he lived up to everything and answered every bell. So, and they will be using him a whole lot more. So, really quick, and I love to say what's up to my IG people. D Delicious A60. That's my girl back out in Connecticut. Real good friend of mine, man. Dope black queen human being. Bold, black, and beautiful. She's a fan on the Michael Collier Morning Show. Woo, woo, woo. Jumping over here to say what up to VJs on Sportsmanlike Conduct. And Becky G. LLF Becky G. The model from Denver. Hey, how you doing, mama? Does pictures with my man Jay Bell's visuals. So shout out to everybody on my IG for tuning in. I appreciate you people. Thank you so much, man. So what else has been up, man? What else has been up in sports? I thought I would be done at 10. And I was supposed to be off at 10. I know something else is supposed to go down, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. I'm going to send a text message real quick. And if you can, throw something sports at me, man. Well, give me something in the NFL to watch for this weekend. Oh, first, hold on. First, give me a score in tonight's game.
I got 35-28 Las Vegas.
35-28 Las Vegas?
Yeah.
I want to pick the Chargers. I really do. And that's because I want Anthony Lynn to save his job. I really do, because if Anthony Lynn gets fired, I just don't see where he can land and where he'd be able to get another head coaching job. Give me another. Let's go another. I'm gonna think about that for a second. Here, let's do this. I got some matchups. I'll throw some matchups on you. I'm gonna let you freestyle a little bit, man. It's been a minute since you've been on, and we gotta get you going, pimpin'. We gotta get you going. The last convo you and I had, we didn't get a chance to finish talking and finish rapping. So I'm gonna pull up the schedule and throw some games at you. Let's start with the Dolphins and Patriots. Dolphins and Patriots. What do you say?
To me, is a huge matchup this week between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. You got Trubisky back in the ring against Kirk Cousins. At what point does Minnesota just say, we're just going to get a first-round quarterback next year at our spot? Or they trade up to get a quarterback? Because they got so much talent. Is it on the defense or is it on Kirk Cousins now?
I think it's on. Listen, here's my thing. And I had this conversation with Luis Estrada from Spectrum Sports and Luis Sports House the other day, I think 2 or 3 days ago. I'm trying to figure out why Kirk Cousins keeps getting the blame that he's getting, because I go and I pull up the numbers. He's a top 10 quarterback right now in the league. 12, sitting at number 12. Kirk Cousins has 27 touchdown passes. He's probably going to finish with over 30 touchdown passes this year. That's great. You throw 13 touchdown passes, you've done a great job at quarterback that year. He's got 12 picks, but, there's a few other quarterbacks out there with 12, 11, 13, 14. Russell Wilson's thrown 12 picks, and everybody's talking about Russell Wilson for MVP. He was supposed to break Peyton Manning's touchdown record after 5 games. People were giving him the MVP and giving him the touchdown record, and then, of course, he started doing what Russell Wilson does. Nobody likes to point out. He started turning the ball over, Mr. Apple Turnover over there. And I'm looking at a receiver in Jefferson. You and I talked about Jefferson about a month and a half, 2 months ago. How does he slide to the late teens? He was the best receiver in the draft. Either him or Jerry Jeudy. They're the best 2 receivers in the draft. He broke Randy Moss's record as a rookie. And Randy Moss had Randall Cunningham throwing to him. A revived second opportunity Randall Cunningham throwing him the football his rookie year. So, once again, I think Kirk Cousins is a victim of people just repeating what they hear and see on radio and on TV. And if TV and radio tells you enough that Kirk Cousins not this and Kirk Cousins not that, then people will start to feed into it and just start to regurgitate it. But when you pull up the numbers and put the game on, it's like, well, just show me the game like they lost because of Kirk Cousins. Defense hasn't been great. They've missed Dalvin Cook 3 or 4 games this year, so they haven't had a running game for some of these games. But here's a guy with 27 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions, and he's got a 1,000-yard receiver who's a rookie. I'm trying to figure out why so much hate for Cousins. Maybe it's the quarterback thing. You got to blame the quarterback because the quarterback gets the praise. I don't know, but I'm not banging on Kirk Cousins as much as everybody else is.
I think it's just because he has such, like, when he's bad, he's really, really bad. But when he's good, he looks like, he picks up games where he has a 141 rating, 80 QBR, and it looks all good. But then you play the Colts, and then you throw a 9.6 QBR with a 15.9 rating. Like, to me, he's at times it's frustrating to watch him with some of these weapons because I feel like he bangs up on the really, really bad teams, and then he'll beat a good team here and now. Like the here and now was the Green Bay win, but he also lost to the Falcons and got destroyed by the Falcons. He got destroyed by the Colts. I mean, they put up a good game against Green Bay, 43-34. Again, like, I just want to know, is it just defense? Like, I get from your point that he's good in a quarterback, top 10, on the stats. But is he the guy? Is that the guy that you want the next 5 years? Does he win you a Super Bowl? Yes or no?
Well,
against the guys that he has to go against, can he take that team over the hump, or does they have to be like that talented, like New York Giant defense with the
they would need, if they had a top 10 defense, and I don't know phone is acting up this morning, man. I'm so sick of Apple. I made a decision yesterday. This is my last iPhone. I'm getting off of Apple. I'm getting away from iPhone. These phones are, ever since Steve Jobs died, their products have been shit. And I'm tired of spending all this damn money. My next phone is going to be the Google Pixel. And I used to sell phones for 7 years, so I know how good phones are, but I got brainwashed and I got mind raped like everybody else does. And Apple this and Apple that. I'm sick of these products, man. They cost too damn much. And then when they start glitching, when the new one comes out, they already had to pay a damn civil lawsuit for having their phone, admitting that they glitched their phones. My 6S Plus works better than my 10. Pisses me off, so it won't come up. But if they had a top 10 defense and Jefferson healthy and Dalvin healthy and Kyle Rudolph pulled his head out of his Irish ass, his fighting Irish alumni ass, I'm not sure how that guy isn't Travis Kelce, because coming out of Notre Dame, he should have been that guy. Not sure what the hell happened to him, but at the end of the day, if those things come together, I mean, you got to go through the Packers and the NFC, which is your stumbling block. But at the end of the day, that is also a conference. That's a division game. So anything can happen when you play a team a third time. It's hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. That's been shown. So, I mean, I'll say yeah. Because like I said, I don't bang on Kurt like everybody else does. And I say yeah. I say if you had those pieces and you had a defense, the way the team is currently constructed, no. But you give him a top 10 defense, Dalvin, Jefferson, and Rudolph in an NFC Championship game against the Packers, I'd give him a shot to win that game. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I don't see the terrible, horrible Kirk Cousins that everybody else does. And maybe I'm on the outside, but once again, I just look at the numbers and I'm like, okay, well, he's so bad, but he's 27 and 12. It isn't like if he had 27 touchdown passes, Sage, and he had like 20 interceptions or 19 interceptions, then I'd be like, okay. But he's got 12. The same amount of interceptions as Russell Wilson. He's thrown the same amount of interceptions as Russell Wilson. And he still has his team in playoff position. And in the playoffs, let me ask you this. If they get to the playoffs and say they got to go play, let's say Washington. Washington's going to probably win the division. Either them or the Giants are going to. Maybe the Eagles now with Jalen Hurt also might win that division. Would you give Minnesota a chance in a playoff game on the road against Washington, Philly, or the Giants?
They beat them.
Okay, so now they're into the divisional round. So the divisional round could be the Rams, could be Seattle, could be the Packers. They're not going to beat the Packers. Seattle, coin flip in my opinion. Coin flip in my opinion, because Seattle can't stop the run. And you have Dalvin Cook. And Seattle can't stop the pass. And you have Jefferson. The Rams defense is number 1 in the league. They're not moving the ball on the Rams. I don't see that. I don't see them to be able to move the ball on the Rams. But once again, if they could get into the playoffs and they would have to play let's even go with the NFC South. Say they got to play the Saints, and the Saints got Taysom Hill at quarterback. I give them a shot to win that game. They got Drew Brees at quarterback? No. They got Taysom Hill at quarterback, Mr. Tim Tebow 2.0. I give him a shot to win that game.
I can see that.
Yeah, so
and the Seattle game is definitely a coin flip because they actually should have won that first game.
They were beating them up there.
I think Russell Wilson had like 24, 30 seconds left in that game.
Yes.
And he let a comeback field goal to beat Vikings that game.
Yeah. They were beating Seattle the entire. You see what I'm saying? So if you say, well, he loses against bad teams, well, they should have beat Seattle. Nobody brings that up. Yeah, they lost to the Falcons. But the Falcons, let's get real. The Falcons have been up on everybody this year. The Falcons shouldn't be as bad as they are this year. The Falcons have had leads on really good teams. They just can't hold leads. So to say they lost to the Falcons, to me, is like, well, I mean, the Chargers are playing your Raiders tonight. The Chargers just beat the Falcons, but what happened? The Falcons gave up a lead again. And real quick, shout out to Miss Bonnie Chambers. Hey, boo-boo. From the fan from the Michael Collier Morning Show. joining us now over at VJ's on Sports Like Conduct, and my man MoJ2000 _ saying what's up, has joined us also too on my IG Live. Bonnie Chambers is a big Packer fan from Chicago. I'm not sure how the hell that happened. I think you bandwagoning, Miss Bonnie. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's allowed. I don't think you're allowed to be from Chicago and be cheering for the Packers. Let's talk about the Packers for a minute. I'll entertain Miss Bonnie here for a second with the Packers. I look at the Packers as probably the favorite to come out of the NFC. You agree?
I agree.
Yeah. They got home field. I believe if they went out there and have home field, I believe they're game over the Saints. I think the Saints have another loss in them. I think they'll drop another game. That's why I think they're trying to get Breeze back because they can see that Taysom Hill got lucky, man. Like, he played Denver with no quarterback. Denver didn't even have a quarterback on the roster. They played a Falcons team, which you just mentioned, they're not a good football team. And then who else did that? I mean, Taysom Hill, and he lost to the Eagles. So they're definitely trying to get Drew Brees back. But I agree, and it's funny too. Wasn't this supposed to be like a down year for discount double check Aaron Rodgers? Wasn't Jordan Love from Utah State supposed to supplant him? If you're the Packers front office, you've got to be kicking yourself that you didn't take a receiver in the first round, or you didn't take a upstart star defensive back or down lineman in the first round with that first round pick, that you spent that pick on. I mean, DK Metcalf is sitting right there staring you in the face at, I think, pick 28, 29.
So many guys.
Yeah. I mean, but seriously, dude, like, you got to be kidding me. And all discount double check does is go out. Is he your MVP? Who's your MVP this year?
You gotta be discount double check.
Right? Either him. You think Mahomes you think Mahomes has a shot at getting it?
Oh yeah, they're neck and neck, definitely right now. But you gotta understand, like, I mean, Chiefs right now 12-1, Packers 10-3. But who's doing more for their team? I mean, right now, the Chiefs are stacked. Like, their offense is really amazing. I mean, just down to everything about their offensive line, best tight end in football, literally one of the fastest receivers in football, Tyreek Hill, if not one of the top 5 receivers in the league, arguably top 3. I mean... Yeah,
he's a top 5 receiver in the league. Hell yeah, dude. Come on.
You got to give Tyreek Hill his props. I mean... just a flat-out baller, man.
I was very proud the way the Dolphins played against that. If not for, listen, we lost the game. I picked the Chiefs to win. I'm not that fan. I don't think we're on that level yet. And it showed because we made mistakes in that game. 3 drop balls. Devontae Parker drops a touchdown pass. Grant had 2 drops, both for first downs. One resulted in a tip interception to the Honey Badger. So there's some things that Miami's got to learn and grow from and clean up. But without that punt return, that's a 27-27 game in the fourth quarter. I was very proud the way Miami... Listen, man, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan. Anybody that's watching the Dolphins knows Flores has turned that franchise around. That franchise is on the up and up.
Great.
And the GM Will Greer there is now in position 2 straight years of back-to-back 2 first-round picks, 2 second rounds, and a third. I mean, they're looking at pick, I believe, 8 and 21 right now. Picks 8 and 21. I mean, like I said, Jefferson slipped to the late teens. I'm not for everybody wanting to go get, because I'm on a bunch of Dolphin blogs and chat rooms and stuff. I'm not one to yell out Travis Etienne at number 8, go get that running. I'm like, bro, I like Gaskins, and I do think that there's some other needs that you could go get Travis Etienne, but we still might need a guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still might need a tackle. There might be a guard. I want to like Jackson from USC, but he's already been hurt twice. He's already missed time this year as a rookie, and he's got the size, he's got the power, he's got the footwork, but his technique seems to fail him, and he can't hold pass blocks for long. So when Tua's got to hold on to the ball because the coverage is good, the guy that's gotten to him more times than not is coming from the left, and that's Jackson's guy. So I'm not sure if you don't challenge him by bringing in another top flight. At number 8, I think you take the best guy on the board. Number 7, number 8, number 9, unless you find your quarterback. Unless Mahomes, what was Mahomes, number 9 or number 10 or some shit like that? Ben was number 13. You know, unless your quarterback you've been watching and wanting is sitting there at that pick, I just say, listen, who's the best guy on the draft? I don't care if it's a linebacker. Well, yeah, you guys got Jerome Baker. But I don't care, dude. He's the best backer on the board right now. Why not add him to that? I think that's the mentality that's growing in Miami. And I'm on these message boards and on Twitter, and everybody wants Jalen Waddle out of Alabama. And I'm like, dude, we at the receiver now. I admit we need a number 1. We definitely need a number 1, but I don't know if Jalen Waddle is an NFL number 1 just because he's fast. He's not Jerry Jeudy, and he's not Henry Ruggs at all. He's not those two guys that's come out of Bama. He's not Jefferson. I like Chase out of LSU, and I like Smith out of Alabama. I think Smith's better than Jalen Waddle. Smith's an NFL number 1. If you want to talk about number 1 receivers, Florida's got a couple of guys. If you want a running back, Carolina's got 2 guys that are NFL built, 6 feet tall, 220, 225, NFL built, speed, power, never been injured, and they're splitting time in Carolina. So it's almost like Nick Chubb and Swift, right? At Georgia. The reason why Chubb is so productive in the league, he didn't get beaten banged up. He didn't get beaten banged up in college. So he was able to, he's been able to have fresh legs, have a fresher body. I think that's helped guys like Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake was the 3rd running back at Bama. But it's kind of shown he's been able to, last his body. If not for Derrick Henry being so damn gargantuan, he probably would have broken down already. You saw Ingram. Ingram didn't even get a snap on Monday night. And I'm not sure if that was from any results from COVID, but he was active, and he didn't even sniff the field. They've moved on to J.K. Dobbins and the other backup explosive back that's there. I forget the young man's name. I'll figure it out in a second. So give me another game this weekend, man. Like I like Dolphins and Patriots. Patriots seem to play very well against rookie quarterbacks. Bill Belichick is 22-5 against rookie quarterbacks. Does that continue this weekend?
I'm going to give it to the Dolphins, man. I think that I do think Bill Belichick will give everything that he can against the Dolphins, but just not enough. He doesn't have enough. The Dolphins right now are playing great football. They're battling through just no Devontae, and you got Lynn Bowen coming out of nowhere, coming out of the Raiders' 4th-round draft pick cut because he was goofing off and was reportedly a bad influence to the other rookies, including and second-year player Josh Jacobs. So to see him shine with the Dolphins, just how amazing job has
You there? Did I lose him? I might have lost him. I still got him. I still see him on my phone here, but I'm trying to figure out why I can't hear him. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if I can get you back on here, buddy. You there?
I'm right here.
Okay. All right. Cool. I thought I might have lost you for a second. Like I said, I don't know what the hell is going on my phone. It's actually pissing me off. But go ahead. Continue. Matter of fact, go a little bit more to that receiver. Give us a little more of that story. 4th-round draft pick to the Raiders. And the Raiders cut him for what?
So, first of all, they had Booker coming out of, just got cut from the Broncos, just came out and had an amazing camp. So that was one bad step for him. And then the second one was, he had that little raid in his home right before it was after the draft. I think no one was arrested, but I think the feds came in, all that. I think that might have played a part to it. Mayock came out and said all baloney, all is not true at all. I would never do that, never say that about someone. But the rumblings from the the understory, like how much truth could it be? They were talking about how much of a bad influence he was going to be on the other rookies, and including Josh Jacobs, second-year player.
Okay, well, I'm glad he's in Miami. I like Washington. I like the back we picked up from Kansas City, but he just didn't have enough time to get acclimated to our team. Like I said, I think the Dolphins have done a great job filling holes and filling needs this offseason. Like I said, super proud of the way they played, and I didn't think they'd win that game. The Chiefs are the fine cut. They're the fine choice cut of the NFL. And I think that's not even an overstatement. I think that's dead on. I like the way the Chiefs look this year. This is Packers. It feels like it's setting up for the Packers and the Chiefs, which would be a rematch of Super Bowl II or Super Bowl III? If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look that up. But are you there with that also?
I like that matchup. I like the Packers. I like the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. The thing that just worries me about the Packers is just obviously it's their defense that still worries me a little bit when it's going to come down to playoff time and when everything tightens up. They have everything they need to get to the Super Bowl, though. I don't think they have enough to beat the Chiefs, so I have the Chiefs beating them in the Super Bowl if that matchup came down.
That would be a great game, man, because I don't think the Packers get the credit that they deserve on defense. I think their defense has played really well, and Aaron Rodgers is just in the zone. And they got Lazard back. You got Adams, Jones at the running back. They look so well and such a fine-tuned team. And LaFleur has actually even said that he wants the bye. A lot of teams try to shy away from the bye. He's been very adamant at coming out and saying, no, I want the bye. We need the bye. And a lot of times it's hard to get coaches to go there. It's hard to get coaches to go there with that, man. But he has definitely talked about wanting the bye and wanting to make sure that they could get that that I can get that rest. I'm trying to pull up my NFL app again. Give me another game, man. What else you got this weekend? Something to watch out for. How about Cleveland? I know Cleveland's got a big game this week, especially coming off of that loss. They're still fighting for playoff position and trying to figure out where their playoff position is going to be, even if they're going to make the playoffs. Talk to me about the Browns. We saw what they did the other night, 42 points, but their defense gave up 47, and that's hardcore, man. That's you can't do that. Also, too, they don't add that 2 points in. That 2 points actually cost some people their fantasy playoff game, dude. That safety by Jarvis Landry actually cost some people because he had to take the loss on that as a receiver. All those yards and the safety went on Jarvis Landry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's kind of jacked up, man. Hell yeah. I was like, oh, my God.
From Vegas, it was $1 million swing to the people for a bet because a lot of people have parlays that ended with the Ravens beating the spread against Cleveland, and it was over 3. So, man, you got a lot of people losing fantasy games. You got people winning parlays, ending on the Ravens, winning a lot of money for people this weekend. Just that was a crazy play. Just to get the thing, just go down, just get tackled, man. But
really, you say just go? You said really? You say just go down and get tackled?
What was that?
I said you say just go down and get tackled. Don't try to fight. Don't try to have a Stanford Cow moment.
Just look at the last lateral though. It was kind of like, all right, bro. But yeah, I get it. You got to keep throwing it.
Yeah.
End zone. It was, but those plays. Just I always think of Odell. Just on those type of plays where it's like it gets too messy. Just gotta you gotta try to the end, but. It was a bad ending. It was ugly. Just how ugly the Cleveland lost, how they just lost that game, and that game should have went to OT. It was just, heartbreaking for Cleveland Brown fans. They looked like they deserved to win that game, and they just blew it at the end.
I actually got it, man. Actually, Cleveland at the Giants, and I remember talking about this the other day, and that's because this would have been Odell's coming home to the Giants, but not only that, Jabril Peppers out of Michigan, was a top first-round pick. Was the second pick in the first round. Cleveland had 2. They spent the second pick on Jabril Peppers out of Michigan, and he got traded from Cleveland to the Giants. And now the Giants have a stout defense, and Jabril Peppers looks like a certified. Reminds me a lot of Landon Collins when I watch him play. Clinton Dix reminds me of those guys in that mode, which were both Pro Bowl type guys. But that's a game because the Giants need that game to keep pace with the Washington football team for that division. But I got to stick with my pick. I've been telling people, and you notice, I've been telling you guys, anybody that want to listen, they better watch the Giants. Last week, though, against the Cardinals, they should have not have lost that game, even though I picked the Cardinals to win that game, because I saw that they were starting Daniel Jones, and I'm like, I don't think it's smart to start Daniel Jones. You don't get, that hamstring look like it hurt real bad. You don't come back that fast, and he was immobile, couldn't move, couldn't get out the pocket, couldn't climb the pocket, and they lit him up for 7 sacks. That might have cost the Giants the division. But over a month ago, I did pick Philly to bounce back and win that division, and that was before they even thought about starting Jalen Hurts. With Jalen Hurts in, if Philly wins out and Washington goes 2-1, Philly will actually win that division. So I'll look good there. But Giants in Cleveland, how do you see that one this weekend?
I mean, Daniel Jones is questionable for this weekend. I'm definitely going to go Cleveland. They're going to come out, and it's actually be a closer game than a lot of people think it is. I'd probably put this around 21-17. And as much as I want to give the Browns offense more points in this game, the Giants, like he says, Jabril Peppers has came in, has been a real force for the Giants, and their defense is really good. That it gives Giant fans have a lot of hope right now because it has been a rough season. But at the end of the day, you're going to get Barkley back next year. You're going to get a decent mid. Looks like it's going to be probably a mid round. So they might win a game or two at the end of the year. They might go 1-2. So you got the Giants probably around like the 10 to 15 range. You get a good guy at that pick. Get the best available. Don't matter what the need is, get the best available you can right there. Because in the draft after that, it's really going to be based off of need. Because you really want to see if you're a Giants, you could see them as a playoff team next year, no doubt. And for the future too, if you can really build on Daniel Jones. If you can't build on Daniel Jones, then that's when you have to start almost another rebuild. And you got to hope that Barkley can last throughout that one as well. Because Daniel Jones has to be your guy for the future now. You spent a first-round pick on him.
I think Daniel Jones. I mean, no. I tell you like this. This is what I will say. If you some way somehow figure out that Trask or Justin, maybe Hal out of Carolina, is a guy you would look at. I think you would have to look at, because they haven't paid him. They haven't paid Daniel Jones huge. Just because you drafted him high, it's like Chicago. Chicago, it's funny with the Trubisky thing, because Chicago can fix that in this year's draft. It's very rare that you miss on a guy, or you feel like you miss on a guy, or social media and TV and radio tell you miss on a guy, and you get an opportunity to fix that 3 seasons later. Normally it takes way longer than that. You set yourself back 5 to 7 seasons if you miss on a first-round quarterback. And I think teams like the Giants, Jacksonville sitting at number 2. So, in all honesty, I think Jacksonville is probably looking at a quarter. If Minshew's your guy, once again, take the best guy on the draft board. If Minshew's your guy, don't draft a quarterback. If you believe Minshew's your guy. I think that they believe Minshew's their guy. So, you look at a team like the Giants, who people are saying, well, you got to move on from Daniel Jones. If that's the case, make sure you find your guy and you like your guy and go get him. But they need more than Daniel Jones, bro. They don't have a number 1 receiver. Saquon will be back, but we don't know what he's going to be. We don't know if he's going to be the same Saquon. And I didn't want to wish luck on anybody, but I said it a week before he got hurt, or in the preseason. It was more in the training camp time. I did a show, I did my preview show, and I said, I worry about a guy with legs that huge. because he's got these huge legs. And he works out right out here at Notre Dame Prep Academy, which is literally less than 5 minutes from my house. And him and Odell and a lot of other NFL guys work out at that Prep Academy. It's a private facility, and they got tarp all around. So even if you're driving by from the street, you can't see. Somebody has to tell you they're there for you to know that they're there. But I said on the preview show I said I just worry about a lower leg injury with that guy because he's already had a thigh and a hamstring and a groin, and then second week I believe it was against Chicago, tears his ACL. So I'm not sure what that's going to do with him as he come back. But if you're the Giants and you think that there's a guy on the board at quarterback for you, you take that guy. I don't believe in sticking with something if you don't think that he's going to be that guy. I'm going to wrap up here in a second, man. Tell everybody where they can get at you, brother.
Man, follow me at Instagram at SageTorres28 and Twitter I'm at Sage_Alvarez28. I'm so happy to be on the show, man. Thanks for hitting me up this morning. I'm glad to be on here.
It's all good, man. I'm trying to strike a match under you, brother. That's all. I'm trying to light a fire, man, and get you talking. The more you talk, the more you do this, the easier it becomes. The easier your words flow. The easier your style will develop. The more you do it. Something like I told you when we talked on the phone. Sometimes you just got to sit down and just hit the record button, man. And I know it's easier said than done, but it's kind of not. Also, real quick, we talked about the Falcons. They're home against the Bucs. The Bucs seem to struggle sometimes. I thought they were going to lose that Minnesota game. And there's another game for Minnesota. They have that game in hand. They really are beating the Buccaneers handily, and then they started to turn the ball over. So, my man, Alvarez, I appreciate you, brother. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
And enjoy the rest of your day, too, bro. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. My man, Sage Alvarez, love to bring people on, man, to talk some sports. Listen, just real quick through the NFL, I'll do another show between now and Saturday, possibly tomorrow. Saturday, I can't. I forgot my son's birthday party on Saturday. So, we got Bills, Broncos, Panthers, and Packers, 49ers and Cowboys, Ravens and Jags. Ravens should have that one. Texans and Colts. Colts at home should get that one, but you never know. It's a division game. Texas defense might come in and feel like, listen, we want to ruin something for somebody. Indianapolis has won 3 of the last 4 against Houston. The Titans and the Lions are 5-8. They're not going anywhere because they're the Lions. And I tell you this, the Titans have been on the tear lately, 35.3 points per game since week 11. That's most in the NFL. The Buccaneers and the Falcons, that is the battle of Super Bowl 51 quarterbacks, and Tom Brady and Matty Ice. The Patriots and Dolphins, rookie quarterbacks, are 7-21 against Bill Belichick as a head coach. So we'll see what Tua's up against. Bears and Vikings, we talked about. Minnesota's won 5 of the last 7, and they start the season 1-5. So they're right there, 6-7. They're right there. And they can make a playoff push, but they've got to get this game. Seattle and Washington. Washington has won 7 of their last 8 games versus Seattle. So this is a team that's had Seattle's number. Seattle's coming out east, and that's a 10 a.m. start. So that's an early start for a West Coast team, and everybody knows the stigma of West Coast teams coming to play early starts. It normally doesn't end out too well for the West Coast team playing that early game. You got the bum-ass Jets at the Rams. The Rams should take care of that very handily. Jets have scored 20 points or lower in the last 9 games this season. The Eagles and the Cardinals, this is another big playoff implication game. I don't think the Eagles are eliminated just yet. I'll check. I don't think they are. I think the Eagles are still alive to make the playoffs, because if they went out, 3 left, they went out, they're 7-8-1, and Washington is 6-7, and Washington loses 2, they would be 8-8. Oh, well, no, Washington would have to lose out in order for the Eagles. Washington and the Giants, I believe, would have to lose out. The Eagles would have to win out. So the Eagles are still alive to win the division, make the playoffs. Cardinals are still alive for the playoffs. Chiefs and the Saints, I think the Saints are going to get their asses handed to them. I think the Chiefs are going to come in there, and they're trying to get Drew Brees ready for that game. But let me tell you guys something. I forget the guy's name because he's not even a quarterback. If it's Taysom Hill at quarterback, they're going to get their asses kicked. Chiefs have won 10 straight road games. That's the longest NFL streak right now. The Browns at the Giants. Baker Mayfield is 7-1 versus non-division opponents this season. That's a 5-18. Like I said, Giants, if they lose out, they're out of the playoffs. If they win out, and Washington loses out and the Eagles lose one more game, the Giants can still win the NFC East and make the playoffs. Steelers and Bengals on Monday night. The Bengals should not win this game, but we have no idea what we're going to get from the Steelers at this point. I know everybody in Cleveland's got their fingers crossed that Cleveland beats the Giants and the Bengals beat the Steelers, because when the Steelers play the Bengals, they have a chance to go head-to-head and win. They win that game, Cleveland that is, they'll have the division tiebreaker winner and win that division first time in like forever. So we'll get more into the games. I haven't made any picks yet. We'll do a show tomorrow morning, and I'll go through NFL picks. Anything that breaks in sports today, we'll discuss tomorrow also too. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in to VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct live on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, and on my YouTube and on my IG. I appreciate you guys, man. Stay blessed. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a good game. Watch tonight. Raiders and Chargers tonight. 14th offense against the 8th offense. 25th defense against the 9th defense. I'm going to go Chargers. I am, because I want Anthony Lynn's job to be saved. I really do. And I think if they beat the Raiders, that could go a long way in saving his job. If they go to Vegas and get blown out tonight, that can go a long way of his job and the curtain closing on Anthony Lynn as the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. So you gotta like something here in LA, right? I live here. I'm not a Dodger guy, not USC guy, not a Laker guy, the Kings. And there's something like the Chargers don't bother me. So it's like, okay, they're an LA team. If there's somebody I can look at and go, okay, I'll root for them to win. I'm not a fan. I'm not rooting for them as a fan. But for certain games, whoever they're, depending upon who they're playing, I'll go with the Chargers. And I like Justin Herbert, and I love black coaches in the NFL, and that's Anthony Lynn. So tonight, I'll take the Chargers. I don't think it's going to be as high scoring as some other people think. I think the Chargers defense is 9th ranked in the league. They are giving up, they're giving up points, but they don't give up a lot of yards. And that's really weird. But the offense turns the ball over, puts them in bad position, and they get their defense is on the field more times too. They're only giving up 337 as far as average yards per game. That's pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? That's about if you split that up with that's 200 in the air and $130 on the ground, or $130 through the air and 200 on the ground, or however you want to split that up. But it's the 9th ranked it's the 9th ranked defense in the NFL. So as far as rankings go, I'm just giving the numbers. They're top 10 in both offense and defense. 8th offense, 9th defense. So enjoy the game tonight, guys. See you guys all tomorrow. VJ's Unsportsmanlike Conduct. Springer.com, man. Y'all stay blessed.